What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. We're back, another video. We're gonna change the diff oil. We have 1 million and we have a Limitless here, and we're gonna change the front canopy, but it took a beating. This car did take a beating. Anyways, we're gonna start off in the back this time because we done the front end on another vehicle. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off by removing the 2 screws here. It's gonna be a different type of project this time, so we're gonna take this guy off. Since I did the front, I decided to do the back this time so it can be covered. And we got 2 on this side. Gonna eliminate this whole rear end wing, and we're gonna take off the body. The body comes off, and there's 2 screws that goes straight in here. 1, 2. I'm gonna take them both off, and hopefully I am able to do it with my drill. I'm sure I can do it. Let me put the car a little bit down because it's way too high. Yep, I can get it. There's 1. There's 2. Fell in there. It's fine. It's fine. It can fall in there. Now we got 2 in the bottom that connects to the braces. I'll show you that as soon as I take it off. So we're gonna bring the camera back a bit, and the light cuts off. Okay, so there's 1. Okay, gotta switch up my bit here. This is 2 millimeter. So these are the first 2 screws you will need. As soon as you go down from here, it looks something like that. And there's the second one. And guess what? Here comes the whole thing. So I'm gonna put this guy away. Now we need to come a little bit closer and down. So right here, what we're doing is we're gonna take, I like to take one of the wheel off. Let's take this guy off since it's loose. That's the reason why we're only taking 1 off. We're gonna take off this guy here. What that's gonna do is, let me grab my plier from this end. Once we take this guy off, now hold that nut. There you go. What this is gonna do is we're gonna put this away together so we don't misplace it or misuse it. This is gonna let this dog bone pop out, the axle, and we're gonna have an easier time taking out that diff. So next we got 4 screws and 2 screws that's holding the sway bar. 1 and 2. The sway bar screws, you can simply just loosen them or take them out, but I took 1 out and left 1 behind. That's fine. So your sway bar will move around. Next we got the 4 screws for the diff cover. Okay, hopefully I didn't strip that one. My bit just doesn't go in, I don't know why. There we go. And this baby come out. And then the second, third screw is out. We got one last one left. It isn't a little angle, but it's fine. There you go. And all 4 screws are out. Let's balance out our Limitless here. What we're gonna do is, now we just need to take out the diff cover. I like to use this guy right here. This helps me. Just pop the cover open, there you go. And then you just grab this guy and this guy comes right off. Bada bing, bada boom. This car ran a lot. Okay, I probably had 10 runs with this car, good 10 runs, few flips. But I managed to save every time. And guess what? Your whole diff comes out just like that. Bada bing, bada boom. We got the rear diff off this Limitless, which is about to flip because we took off a lot of weight. And let's balance it up again, and we're gonna let it sit to the side. Now we're gonna focus more on to this guy right here. Now what we're gonna do is, there's 4 screws on this diff. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna take all 4 off. So okay, it's gonna take us time. You know what? Let's just bang them out with this little guy. We're gonna have to change out the bit. The process is the same for the front one, so let's put these to the side. I want nothing to do with that drill no more because it's tough to clean things. So we got 1 million, and here's the diff. So we're gonna put oil into this diff. See what you got in there? It probably had only half of weight. So the way this diff oil works is, you pack it up. This is thicker. You pack it up. It's gonna eliminate a lot of play, and you're gonna see the difference from front to back. Anyways, I'm gonna take this apart and we're gonna clean this whole thing up. So I only got me a couple of tissues. What we're gonna do is, we're gonna take off this half of the diff and pop out the second half of these spider gears, and then we got one big gear in there that comes out. Okay, just keep everything in order. I'm sure you guys can do it. Let's put this to the side. Now we're gonna clean the heck out of these. Cleaning the heck out of these. Take all the greasing off, all the oil off, completely. You're gonna need this back for a bit. There you go. Let's clean this out before we put it to the side. Remember, as I always say, you don't need to put this into some type of solvent and clean this with that. It's okay. You're gonna be fine wiping this off. Only thing is, you gotta wipe it off really good and keep things in order. Okay, this baby is done. Looks nice. And that goes in. We'll do same thing with these, all these, the spider gears, planetary gears, whatever you want to call them. It's okay to name them. You can name them Bobby and Jack, or Jack and Jill, or Brenda. Name them your exes. You can name them whatever you like, as long as they stay in their place. When they go to the wrong place, it's trouble. Okay, just suck all the juice out of these. Suck them dry. And this baby looks good to me. A little bit more. Okay, let's switch up the tissues. And grab the second half of these gears. And this is the hardest part here, cleaning these. And make sure you keep every single shim, adapter, everything has to stay in order. They're simple. They're not even that difficult if you forget, if you mess up. Okay, this guy looks good. That's done, and now we gotta get this cup. We gotta grab everything out of this cup. So you stick your tissues in there. This is how I do it. You stick your tissue in it, it sucks it all, and you switch sides, and you go around with it. This is more cleaner for tissue, and you go all around, clean the heck out of it. And once you see it's nice and clean, if you want, you can put in some type of cleaner, but I don't see it that necessary. So we're gonna center that shaft in the center. Then we're gonna throw in this gear, this little gear here. And if that shaft in the center is not centered, it's not gonna sit properly. So once you got that gear in, we're gonna take a set of these gears and throw these in. The round area goes down, so I got this one the wrong way. I'm gonna just turn it. That's all we're gonna do here, turn. If we need to come back out, we'll come back out and turn, turn, turn. And then we'll push it back into its spot. There you go. That side is going to sit just like that. And the other ones are going to sit cross. So that center, the splice in the center shaft has to be facing upward. And the second one, the center splice has to be facing downward. So we're going to do the same thing with these guys. And it's going to be tough. And I destroy the whole thing. It's good. Now we can see there's a little shim. And then the metal adapter goes in the back. My hands are tired fingers. I'm grabbing so many tiny things. These. Okay, so this thing looks like it's gonna go into the spot on its own. Sometimes you can move it around, and it will move around with it. So it's only gonna sit in one spot, and your diff will not close if you have not done it right. So there we have it, 1 million, and we are ready to put the diff oil into this guy right here. And just to show you guys, we have the million. The million is gonna go in this. You could put something even more harder than that, but I think million should be just fine for us. All I want is no loss of power, just in case one of the tires slips in the front. I am going to be doing the front one, which was not going to be recorded. So I do have a video on another Limitless, which I converted to GT. You can check that out. I took the whole front end apart. And there it is. There's the glue. This is like a silicone looking type. And we got this guy. What we're going to do next is we're going to submerge it with this. Just like that. See that? So we're going to pack this baby up. Done it a few times, now I'm all used to it. Pack this baby down. We're gonna pat it down with the finger. We're gonna turn the gears. They're gonna suck them in, okay? Make sure you pat it down. Don't worry that your fingers are gonna be. And there's a seal on this, okay? Sometimes the seal stays here. So if the seal stays here, just take it off, put it onto that. Or you can put it on last, but make sure you line everything. And we're gonna just pat it, 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 pat it. We're gonna turn it. You're gonna see it turn. See that? That's 1 million in there. So once you turn it, pat 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 it. I don't think I'm gonna have to put more in here because it looks pretty good. Don't go crazy by just turning it because it's gonna try to pop out the gears. So all we're trying to do is we're trying to get all the oil to the bottom gear so it goes everywhere. There you go. 1 million in this baby. So every time you turn, it's gonna look like it's going down, 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 which is good. Small little piece on my finger, which we don't want. Hands are tight. Whew, tired. So every time I try to pat it, so there's no space left. So I'm looking in good condition here. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the ring gear and we're gonna make sure it sits good with the screws, the holes, the alignment. And then we're gonna try to capture the screw into the hole. Just pay attention to the gasket. So sometimes that gasket will fall apart and when way off, this needs to be turned a bit. Looks like I got it right on the spot. It looks like I don't got it on the spot. There you go. It just dropped onto the spot. So I got one gear, one screw, which I caught it. And guess what? My gear fell off as I lifted it a bit. So we gotta come back out. We're gonna come back out. We're gonna take a look at that gear. There it is. So the gear fell off. So it's gonna be a little bit of a mess now, but that's fine. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this guy to sit back on its spot. There you go. So I wasn't able to line it properly. That's what happened there with the screws. Once you line it, just try not to lift the gear. I'll try to lift it a little bit just to see where everything was sitting. So there you go. That's one. So if your gear doesn't sit properly, nothing is going to close. You're going to have a tough time closing this diff. So if that occurs, that's, you know it, that everything is off. There you go. This baby is in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock up 4 screws, and then you might see some of the diff oil come out. Make sure you clean that because it's thick oil. It's going to restrict your the flow of the diff input gear, and you're going to lose power. So I'm going to come right back once it's all done, nice and clean, okay? So got my diff nice and ready, nice and tight, and I cleaned up any silicone, the million silicone that popped out of there, and I cleaned it up really well. I put a little bit of greasing on it, and now we're gonna just take off this cover. It's time for us to drop the diff in. Diff is gonna be a little bit complicated to get in there, and the reason is because now we need to capture the axles, and shouldn't be too big of a deal. So usually what I do is I try to get the diff in there first and hold up the sway bar. And even if I don't get it, I'll just remove, just like we did here, I'll remove the other end, and I might just do that instead because I already got my diff in there and I don't want to go crazy with it. And there you go. So I'll just remove that axle, and from here on it's just a reverse procedure. You take your diff cover, Same way, you're gonna stick it in there. You're gonna stick it in there and make sure it sits flush. Okay, make sure everything just sits flush and even. So I did not get this thing even yet. You should feel a little click on it, or it should just go and sit perfect onto the housing. Put all the screws together, put the axles in, put the wing on. You're all done. Bada bing, bada boom. Thank you for watching, guys. And I'm gonna be doing both front and back, and that's how that goes. Anyways, see you guys on the next one, and hopefully this video helps you out, guys, a bit. And then put the axle dog bone back in, and you're all set. So I need to finish out the job, but that's something that you already seen how to take it off, and you put it back together the same way.